All right. Now we come down to day number 10, right? And day number 10 is when we will look at the tasks. And day number 10 is May 18th. We have completed all of this week. I'm glad you have completed the tasks and you are feeling good. Now we jump into Linux and start practicing some things, those 13 commands we looked at on day one and day two. So let's look at those commands. And today is day 10. Okay. Again, we go back to day 10, which is the README file. And this is pretty easy in terms of understanding. Day, uh, we are looking at day 10 on the 18th. The objective is to practice the Linux commands. So, where do you actually practice them? Right? Pretty straightforward. Just go into your guacamole SSH, and you should be able to get into. And I'm going to use, you should use your own user. I'm going to use Zachary, uh, walk admin, and I'm going to log in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Control Alt Shift, and I am going to increase the size to 100%. Control Alt Shift again. And now I have a nice interface. And let's see what we have to do. So the first command is who am I? Go to the right, just copy that, come to your interface, and you should be able to paste it here. So that's who am I. Now, what's the next command? Task 2 is to navigate to your home directory. Okay. So navigating to your home directory is cd home. Now you can see that you're in your home directory. What else do you have to do now? You run this command and let's do a verification. Let's type in pwd. Pwd, it tells us where we are, right? And so you can see it says we are expected to be in home. Now, task number 3 is to see, let's see what's listed inside home, right? And so ls hyphen l will tell us what's listed under home. And Zakaria has already uh, created some users, okay? And so what do you see? Are there any other user directories also created? So you'll go ahead and create two users, student and Alice. So how do you create users, user student and Alice? Okay. The way to do that is 1 second. Let me come back to this. Hold on. There seems to be a small mistake in this lab, and I'm going to put this on a pause, fix it, and come back to you. Hold on. So there is nothing, no mistake here. It is exactly fine. You want to add a user. So all you have to do is run here, user add, and you're going to add Alice. Okay. And it says you have to user add student. So one is student, one is Alice. So I've added Alice. I'm going to user add. You can use the up arrow key. There's an up arrow key which gives you a history. So up arrow key, or simply just type in user add student. Okay, good. Now it says it already exists, and that is true. We see the student here. So we don't need to create. Now we can run ls-l again, and we can see Alice has been added on. There's Bob, there's Alice, Huzaifa, student, Talha. So all of these users have been added by user Zakari. I'm using a student's VM, right? And you can see that this is all created in there. So now you have done this. You have completed this part. You have now checked under ls-l home, and you can see that if you did ls-l /home, it's going to give you all the listing. So I can clear that screen and kind of slide my slider back a bit. up here. So good. So we are done. You can see all the listing of all the students that are there. So basically, what did we do so far? What we have done so far is that we have gone from the root. This is the root directory, right? And we have typed a command by typing the command cd, right? And when we said slash home, okay, what we have done is essentially we have entered a directory that is called home. That's what we have done. We have entered a directory called home. Now, if we want to look inside this directory, if I want to look inside this directory and see what's inside it, right? Um, and I want to see what's inside it, I would have to type in ls, right? I will go ahead and type in ls-l, right? And what is that going to do? It's going to show me what's inside the directory. And I was able to see what's inside the directory. So, right? And how do I know I'm here? How do I know I am at this location, right? The way I can know this is by typing simply pwd, right? And let's check that out. So if I'm here and I type pwd, that shows you I'm at home, right? I'm at home, and you can see in my diagram I'm at home. Now I want to look inside, so I have to type in ls-l, right? ls-l says, hey, I've got a bunch of people under here. So after typing, I can see here a bunch of people. I can see in this directory Alice, right? I can see Bob, right? And et cetera, as you can see them all here, right? I can see all of these people here by typing ls-l. So I've typed in ls-l, right? When I'm at home, right? I've confirmed I'm at home because I've done PWD and I am at home, right? So I'm at home. I've done ls. I've gone in from the root. So if let's clear this up, this clutter, you can understand what we're doing here is we have gone into home by typing cd, change directory. And then we have done PWD, like we have seen over here. We have done PWD, right? And we have seen that we are in home. So that's verified that we're at home. That's the check mark. Now we typed in ls-l. So when we type in ls-l, it's going to give us the listing, right? You can see all the listing here, right? The list. So here's the whole list. And you got Alice, you got Bob, you got Huzaifa, and this. And these are all users that we created using what command? User add command. You did user add and XYZ, you're going to have a user added here called XYZ. That's what the user command will do. It will create another user. And you'll have in this list, you'll be able to type in ls-l. And depending on how many users you add, you can keep adding. You'll get XYZ as well. I hope you're clear up to this point. So let's clear all this homework right now, right? So clear all drawings, right? And let's go back. Let's clear that. So we have completed and added that. Now we want to navigate to Alice's home directory, right? We have Alice as a user, right? Alice is a user. So we want to go into her directory, right? And how do we know it's a directory? Because we can see the D. I can go CD, A, capital Alice, right? I can do, sorry. So do I put a forward slash? We don't really need to do that. Why? Because PW tells us we are already sitting in home. So Alice is in home. Change the directory to Alice, right? If I wanted to use, I want to show you the difference. So I use the hash command, change directory Alice, and then there's the change directory dash home dash Alice. So These two methods will take you to Alice's, so Alice, right? So this is saying you're going to be at root, then you're going to be at home, and then under home, there is Alice. So this is a separation. This is the leading uh, forward slash. That forward slash right there is telling you that you are going into home and this is Alice. Good. So now you're going to go ahead and press enter. Perfect. So let's do, how do we see where we are? PWD. And we didn't do anything because we had a hash in the back. So we have to now either type cd Alice and do PWD because we can see Alice is right here. And we can do PWD and we can see that we are under Alice. We are under this path. Here's your whole path. So what do we do next? Now that we have done this, expected output was this. Task number 6. Let's look inside under Alice. ls hyphen L. Well, there's really nothing under Alice. So what do you see? I don't see anything. There should be nothing inside Alice's home directory. That is true. There is nothing in her directory. So we are following this task number 6. Come to task number 7. So now since we are under Alice, why don't we go ahead and create a directory, a bunch of directories, projects, docs, and images, right? Let me make this a bit bigger if you cannot see my screen, right? So mkdir, right? I'm going to do mkdir minus p for parent, and I want to create 3 directories, projects, docs, images, projects, docs, and images. Now, let me clear my screen. And where am I? I'm there. And if I want to look inside Alice's uh, directory, I'll type in ls-l. So I've now created docs, images, and projects, just exactly as I wanted to do. These are directories. I am creating directories, folders, okay, in one single go. Then I run ls-l to see what's inside, right? And I see these inside, as you can see them here. I can see them inside. Let's go to task number 8. Congratulations, you have completed this part. You're able to see inside. So we are practicing ls-l. Now let's go to task number 8. Navigate to the projects directory. Let's go to CD projects, meaning let's go inside projects. How do I check inside a projects folder? CD projects. Now, let me see what's inside this projects. There's nothing there. Where am I? PWD. I am standing with respect to the home directory. Under home, there's a directory called Alice, and Alice has a folder called projects. And you can see I'm actually standing in that project directory. Now, let's see the contents. We have typed in ls-l under projects, and we see there's nothing there. So now we have confirmed there's nothing, right? You can also type ll, right? You can also type ll, and it will also give you the same output as ls-l. ll stands for long listing, okay? Now, is the directory empty? Yes, it is. That's the answer. Let's go to task number 9. Now let's create a new file, which is called touch report.txt. So we'll go back to our virtual machine, touch, okay, report.txt. That's going to create a file for us. How do we check that this is created? ls or ll. And there it is. It is created for us. We have a file called report.txt. If you just typed ls, it'll give you just the name. And you won't have all these details, right? Just the name of the file name by just typing ls. But if you wanted to get a long listing, ls-l, then you can see some more information, otherwise known as the metadata of the file, report.txt. Okay, moving forward, you've seen that, we have checked it, we see that we have a report. Let's do task number 10, move one level up. So, what do you mean by move one level up? So, let me clear this. Now, where's my level? Where am I standing? Move, we said move one level up. So, let us check where we are right now. Where are we right now? PWD. So which will be what's the one level up here? Alice. How do I go back to the folder called Alice? All I have to do is type cd dot dot. And if I do pwd, and now you will see that here you are in projects, you typed cd dot dot, and you want to check again where you're standing. It says, hey, you are in Alice. And you can see Alice's name here as well. So that confirms you have moved one level up. Now you have verified your current location, which is by typing PWD. Next, your expected output should have been home Alice, and your home expected output is home Alice. Next, task number 11. Okay, let's see what's under Alice. ls hyphen L. We have these three directories, right? So now we have checked ls-l. Let's look at task number 12. Navigate to the images directory, CD images. Let's go to CD images, CD images, right? And let's check what's inside this, ls-l. There's nothing in this. Where are we right now? PWD. We are in the folder called images. We have decided to go inside the folder of images or the directory, which is, you can see means D for directory, and verify the directory contents. Is the images directory empty? The answer is yes, it is empty. There's nothing inside here. What are we supposed to do? Let's go ahead and touch and create a file called logo.png. So we're going to do touch logo.png. And there you are. Can we check this? Yes, we can. Or ls or ll. And there it is, logo.png. Perfect. Now you can run ls-l. We have checked that, we have got that, we've finished the task. Let's go to the task to return to your home. How can you return to home? CD. And no, watch this, right? So returning to home means, let me clear this. Where are you standing now? You're in images. If I do CD, hit enter, and then see where I am, guess what? When I did my PWD, it showed me that I'm standing actually in the images folder. When I typed CD and entered, it says now I'm in home. This tilde, the sign next to the number one key, says that I'm standing in my own home, right? So what have we done so far? Let's review this in a logical way so that we understand this, right? What have we done so far? So what we have done is simply we started out at home, right? And we have a file system in which you have a directory called home, right? So you have home and you have another directory called root, right? Root. This is a directory called root. The name of this folder is root. The name of this folder is home. This is just the system's top, which is known as the root of the system. It's not the same thing as a directory. So under home, we had a bunch of people. We had created Alice. We had home. We had Alice, right? And under Alice, right, who was a user, right? User Alice, this is a user. We had now created uh we had created projects, right? We had created projects, we had created images and doc. Then under the project, we had created a project called report.txt. And under images, we had created an image called logo.png. And that was a file, right? These are all files. This is a file, right? These are all files, and these are all directories, right? All of these were directories. This was a directory, this was a directory, and this was a directory. And the user Alice also has a directory. So this is actually also in blue, right? And these are files. These are all directories with D. This is a directory, this is a directory, this is a directory, this is a directory, right? This is a directory as well, right? And this is the home directory. This is the root directory. And then when we typed, we were here, right? We did a PWD to see where we were standing. We were in images. We were standing right here. And then we typed in CD and then we hit enter, right? That's what we typed. When we typed CD, hit enter, now what happened is that we are no longer located here. We are now located over in this folder. We are located here. That's what that CD did to us. It took us back to this folder. So that's why it shows that we are now under root. Before we were under images. So we have just typed CD and we have moved out of here. We have we have left all of this area and we have moved all the way back. Dun 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 dun, and we have gone inside root. And we are now sitting in the root folder. If you want, you can use the touch command, and make a file here if you want to, just to make sure that you test yourself. This is just a directory. This is a directory, like this is a directory. These are all directories. Okay. So this one is also a directory, right? And I hope this becomes very clear to you when you do this exercise. This is a directory, ladies and gentlemen. Perfect. So now that we understand all of this, I'm going to go ahead and clear the screen for you, clear all the drawings, close that. I can clear my screen, CLEAR, clear, and I can go back and hit and see what happens. So I have returned to my home directory, which is root. Do you see the tilde symbol? Yes, I did. Did you see what it means? I've explained that. And now who am I? Right? Who am I? I am back. I am root. What does that who am I mean? It means who is the user? Are you Alice? No. But if we wanted to take the user Alice and change the password Alice, right? And let's say ABC, and I decided to switch my user to Alice. Now, if I said, who am I? What do I see here? I see Alice, right? And if I exit and I say, who am I? I'll see I'm root. So you can see the difference between the users. Awesome. Now we're done. Let's go to 16. So we were supposed to install this tree command and just to learn how to use DNF. DNF install -y tree. Let's run that and let us allow. And it's complete. The tree package has been installed by user Zachary. Remember that control plus C command, control C will stop any running processes that are in front of you. So we can install the tree and let's display the Linux directory system. Let's look at the directory system. Aha, there we are. We have our home. Under home, I have Alice. Under Alice, I have bunch of doc. I've got Bob. He hasn't created any folders. Huzaifa is empty. Student is empty. Tala is empty. Zakaria has created two documents, docs, images, and projects, right? So we're able to see the hierarchy, right? You're going to hear the word hierarchical. This is the word hierarchical system. Hierarchy means uh, you got the chief, right? And under the chief, you have a bunch of people working for the chief, right? It's like an organization chart. So hierarchy. Okay, do you see the directory hierarchy? Yes. Can you identify Alice projects, docs, and images? Absolutely, you can do that. You can see how this is all set up. You can see that under home is Alice, under Alice is docs. And that's how we know that this is the directory system. Okay, so here's a bunch of final questions. What does who am I do? What does PW do display? It's present working directory. What does cd dot dot mean? It means you can go one level up. What does cd by itself do? You can change the directory. What is the purpose of touch command? Create a file. Why is the tree useful? Because it gives you the nice way of looking at the hierarchy. What does this tilde represent? It means the home. Anytime you type in CD and hit enter, it's going to take you, if you're the user root, it'll take you into your home. Let me explain that to you, right? Let me explain that to you one more time so you're not confused. Now, okay, so let us say that you have gone into home Alice, okay, and you can see that the tilde has changed to Alice, right? So when you type CD and hit enter, guess what? You've gone from Alice back to home. How do you know where you are? PWD. Now let's switch the user, right? If I switch the user to switch user hyphen Alice, and I did the same thing, I did LL, and I went into projects, right? PWD. And now I want to go back to Alice's home. I type CD, enter, PWD. You see, by typing CD when you're a root user, you end up in the tilde here stands for your directory, which is root. But when you are a user Alice and you type that, you are actually in you are actually in the home of Alice. That's your home directory. That's normally when a user, when you work for a company, when you log in, you will be logging into under your home. You will never be logging in as root. They will never give you root rights. They'll give you your rights working in that company. And that might be just Bob, maybe you, and maybe whoever. So let us exit. Let's clear. And we have completed, right? Write a short paragraph explaining what you have learned, which command was most useful, and we're going to ask you to write this up again, right? We're going to ask you to write this again. So thank you very much, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed this lab.